Today on the channel, we do a review on the 2015 debut album entitled Grow by the math rock band CHON. What's going on, guys? My name's Isaac. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, guys. It'll really help me out. Leave a comment too, guys. Let me know what kind of stuff you'd like to see on the channel. Let me know what kind of music content to make. And leave a like if you like the video. Without further ado, let's get started. I've been listening to CHON, I don't know, maybe for about 3 or 4 years now, and I just decided to go ahead and give their debut album a closer listen. The band for this album consists of Mario Camarena and Eric Hansel on guitars, Drew Pelisek on bass and vocals, and Nathan Camarena on drums. This album, however, is the last time Drew worked with CHON. The CHON and Drew just kind of split ways. They were still homies apparently. That's what they had announced online, but they just split due to artistic differences. Prior to this album, in 2013, CHON came out with their debut EP entitled Newborn Sun, and in 2014 came out with their second EP called Woo Hoo. Though none of the tracks on this album surpass 4 minutes, I would probably feel like the players feel like the tracks are much longer just because there's so much technicality going into them. I feel like there's a lot of focus, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the time just goes by super fast for them, right? I'd imagine so. I mean, this 34-minute album did go by super fast for me. I know it's not even, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, but still. The album went by super fast for me. I've given it multiple listens just in one sitting, and it flies by. Since 10 of the 12 tracks are instrumental, it was probably wise for these guys anyways to keep the tracks short in order to keep the listeners engaged. And they did this simply by keeping the tracks technically and harmonically interesting. They do this by having just short ideas but adding, a lot of sweeps. They do tapping, they do bends, but they don't do boomer bends. They do bends in like a modern way. They're just quick, they're brief, they're not long and like scorching like they were in the 80s, but they're still awesome, they're cool. It's just a different nuance in this album, and I just feel like that's kind of what CHON brought to the table in the first place, was just a different nuance in a rock album. So when I think of CHON, I do think of instrumental tracks, and of course with a lot of technicality and nice harmonies. Now these guys aren't technical and with a lot of harsh dissonances. They're technical, but they bring such beautiful harmonies in their 7th and 9th chords with their nice arpeggios, with their very lightly distorted guitars. But there are 2 songs on the album with vocals, so 12 songs or tracks, however you want to call it. The ones without the lyrics I call tracks, the ones with lyrics I call songs. So 2 totally different things, right? The 2 songs are Can't Wait and Echo. Now it did kind of take me a little while to get used to the songs with lyrics. I don't know if it's just that I was so caught off guard by the lyrics, but after a few listens, yeah, the songs really caught on to me. In my opinion, I do prefer Can't Wait over Echo. I don't know, I think just the vocal line is a little bit more memorable. I think the lyrics are a little bit nicer. The CHON trademark, in my opinion, like I've been saying, is that technical playing with the taps, the sweeps, the bends, the shredding, now these guys use the entire fretboard, right? They truly do, with only 6 strings, which, I think is even more impressive. Even with the songs with the singing, they still stay technical and true to that CHON trademark, which was everything that I just described right now, right? But the lyrics and the vocal line are simple, and you know what? I think that this is a good thing that they did, because if the vocal lines were like super fast, maybe almost like, I don't want to say beatboxing, but if they were fast lyrics, a bunch of lyrics, complicated vocal lines, you know what? It may have been too much going on, and maybe in the mix or just in the songs, the tracks in general. So good on them for keeping simple, easy listening vocal lines. Throughout the pretty much entire album, the guitars and amps are set to a clean and a very lightly distorted sound. Now, this is cool. I mean, this is CHON sound, right? It's an awesome sound to have. It's new and it's technical with it. But I feel like for every track, pretty much, every song and track, they started adding more effects like midway through the track. So let's say, it's halfway through, a song's halfway through, it's clean, it's very lightly distorted, but midway that's when they started with their either the keyboards or the guitar effects pedals. I'm not exactly sure what they use. I didn't like research what gear they were using for everything, right? But it's something that I felt like I could sonically just hear. And I think it's cool because, since the tracks are already super short, midway, hey, let's do the same thing again. But hey, let's add some effects, let's loop it, let's just make it interesting with these sound effects. And that kind of leads me to my next point. The form of these songs, I felt like are in A-B-A-C form. Like we have the intro, which is A, right? Then we had something totally different, which is B. And then A comes back again, but maybe with more effects or with a boost. And then there's C, which is the end of the track. And I always felt like for a lot of these tracks, such as in Not and Book, which Not is my personal favorite. I love that track. I listen to that one over and over again. It's like they just came up with an idea and repeated it over and over again, but with effects going on. It sounds cool, but it just sounds like they had to come up with something last minute, like they didn't know how to end the track. And so they just had to like come up with something like poof, right? But anyways, they're still cool ideas. I still really like them. It's not a knock on them. It's just something I simply noticed. Works for them, works for me. I think it was all good. Moments where I do hear more distorted guitar are in the guitar solos. Like, I don't think of this band as like guitar solos throughout the whole track or song because the guitars are so prominent. No, I don't think the whole thing's a guitar solo. You distinctly hear guitar solos, right? Like, hey, this little section, this 10 seconds, 15 seconds that's boosted or is a little more shreddy, that's the solo. Like, it should stand out. The solo itself should still stand out from the lead guitar riff or motive ideas, right? And this is where we hear more distortion, like in the solos from Not and Splash. And Mario and Eric really show off their shredding abilities, not just short little speed bursts like they do in their main riff and motive ideas. No, it is like they are shredding. Hey, I can shred, guys, and it's cool. They do the sweep picking. They use, again, the whole fretboard, it sounds like, at least sonically. So really good on them. Cool little take on some of these tracks here. I personally felt like the album just has an overall energetic, joyful, yet calm nuance to it. Like a couple of very calm tracks here are the intro track, Drift. It's just the guitars and maybe keyboard. Like I said, guys, I don't know exactly what gear they use or maybe the pedals, but it's just a nice, brief 30-second introduction to the next song, Story, which starts off super energetic. The 8th track, Moon, at only about a minute and a half. Another very nice, we just hear what sounds like to be just the two guitars, maybe keyboards, like I said, or just the guitar effects pedals. Track number 8, Moon, really helps. Hey, we just take a little step back. We kind of take a break listening to all this awesome shred, right? But give our ears and our minds just a little break. And I just really like that. They do such a nice blend of, hey, this is like almost dance music, but it's energetic, it's joyful, it's happy, but it's calm at the same time, like study music, math rock, right? Very cool genre to fall under. And yeah, I mean, those are just some of my thoughts here on the album, guys. Also, I know that this album is already almost 10 years old. It's more like going on its 9th year anniversary in just a few days. It came out March 5th, 2015. And as of the time of this recording, it is March 2nd, 2024. So almost 10 years, really almost 9 years now in just a few days. Now, I know maybe I'm a little bit late to the review on this, but I'm also doing this because I just simply miss this band so much. I miss this band. I want them to come back. I want them to come out with new music. If they did, I'd be so interested to hear as to what it sounds like. I know I follow Eric Hansel on Instagram, and I'll hear maybe some ideas that he comes out with. I'm just keeping the faith and just, trying to have some hope that they do get back together someday just to make some cool music. With all that being said, guys, thank you all so much for checking out this video. It means a lot to me. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, guys. Maybe if you'd like to see another album review or anything else music or guitar related, guys. I love it all so much. I think it's awesome. I follow and watch so much YouTube on just music and guitar. And with all that being said, guys, thank you all for checking out the video, and I hope to see you all later.